Welcome to The Good Pod, where today we're talking about The Good Wife, Season 4, Episode 21. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, someone who is, I guess, technically management of this podcast enterprise. The man, if you will. The man, the Mar, the Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah,
it's just by default. I'm an eldest daughter. I'm a Capricorn. I really can't help myself. That's really how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I really got to get all the staff and employees not to watch this episode of The Good Wife.
Hey, I would be leading the charge to form a podcasters union
but you can't. You're management. You really want to give up stuff to all of our employees, all the people that work.
All of them, all two of us.
I mean, listen, we got interns, we got editors, we got all this stuff, right? You don't want to start asking for stuff, asking demands.
That breaks my heart.
But yeah, I mean, listen, if this takes off, right? If we get big, halfway
please form
into
a
the
union,
run,
please, for the love of God.
No, as part owner of the Good Pod Inc., we will not be encouraging this nonsense. I'm very much the
here,
David.
folks. It's very clear who's on which side here. I am for the people, Jason. The people.
And I am for money. Okay. Big time pro money guy. Traditionally. Anyway, not that we even have to worry about that. Okay, right now, because
what's going on
for podcast. Yeah. But I'm just saying, in the future, when we hit it big, when that moment comes, when the kings get wind of who we are,
call,
they go, hey, everyone that's fans of The Good Wife, go listen to this podcast, and then we just start like hitting it big. We just got to remember who we are, what we're about,
which
money,
is the people,
money,
the people,
money,
people
that get us money. Yeah,
who share. People who share money.
There's no sharing. There's flat fees, and then anything else comes to us. Okay, that's just.
We will revisit this conversation when it comes up. We will come back.
Marissa, I'm glad we're on the same page. Anyway, before we dive too deep into this episode, we want to remind you of some free and easy ways you can share this podcast and help us out to get to the eyes and ears of more people, to get us that notoriety that will get us all that cheddar cheese. So if you want to help us out, you can do so by reviewing, rating, subscribing, wherever it is you're listening or watching this. There's a way for you to like and subscribe to help us out to get into the algorithm of more people. You can also email us at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com if you just want to chat with us about any and everything. And if you do want to help us monetarily, there is a way for you to do that. If you go to buymeacoffee.com/goodpod, you can be a donor. I was looking for that word. You can be a donor to the cause. This little small business podcast that for right now doesn't really have a lot of profits to split. But when we do, I assure you, we will be taking most of it. Me and good old Mar over here. Okay, Marissa.
Yes.
Mar. Let's dive into the episode.
All right. This episode is titled A More Perfect Union. And just like last time, we're going to run this down from top to bottom. This episode opens at a funeral. And I was a bit confused. I was like, oh, what happened? We have Alicia and Owen at a funeral, and they are having a conversation about, like, did you know the guy? I didn't know the guy. Did you know the guy? And it is assumed that this person is connected to their mother in some way, shape, or form. But at the moment, we don't know where Veronica is. And so Alicia and Owen steal this moment to have a conversation between the two of them as brother and sister. And I hated it.
You hate it. I love
the Owen conversation, but I hated the Alicia part of the conversation. I love Peter. He's changed. He's such a good man. Blah blah blah. And Owen's like, the man. He's not changed, Alicia. He has not changed.
Yeah, I knew you would take issue with Alicia's side on this, but I love I love almost any Owen Alicia conversation because I feel like this is the most vulnerable Alicia can and will get. Is talking to Owen. Like throughout the history of this series so far, we know the real Alicia is when she's talking to Owen. She's he's the person she'll open up most to. So it's really good to be let in on really her thought process here. And yeah, it's Owen as he has done before is just like, hey, like, why don't you throw caution to the winds? Like, it should be all about you and Will. What's the problem? Why aren't you going to the Will side of things?
Well, and I thought it was interesting because, as you said, she's very vulnerable when she talks to her brother. And so she even admits, like, yeah, we kissed. And she's like, it's not good. Like, I mean, like, it's good, but it's not good that it's good. You know what I mean? And he's like, your body is telling you something.
And it's true, right? Because we saw in the episode before, like, she's having a like physical, visceral reaction to not having Will. It is a will drawl, as the term I coined last episode. She's really like, her body's like shivering without Will. And Owen says, like, your body is telling you it needs to be Will, not stinky old stupid Peter.
Yeah, and she said the reason why she can't be with Will is because it didn't feel like a long-term thing. And I like how Owen challenges her here and says, like, oh, look at you, you cut it off before it even had a chance to be a long-term thing. So you can't really get mad at Will for that. But I don't think that's
I was confused. I was so confused about, like, I didn't get the sense that was the reason at the time, which, is a fault on the show for not really kind of, if that was the reasoning, explaining that. I thought the reasoning was basically that Alicia didn't want to kind of upend her life, which she thought it would do if she went out with Will. That she would have to, things would change at work. And, she's thinking mostly of her kids, her family, how this would affect them. So I thought that was mainly like the reason, not that it wasn't long term. Alicia was trying so hard to not make it long term at the time.
From my perspective, Will was like, I will marry you and be with you till the end of time, and she was like, I just want to have fun.
Like, yeah, he's like, I will be a stepdaddy to your bratty ass kids. That's fine. I'm down with it.
And I will have awkward conversations with Will in the office.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Like, hello.
Yeah, it's like Alicia's the one that's like, hold on, buddy. Like, this is some booty calls. Like, let's not go crazy about this. So yeah, that was a weird reasoning for her to give to Owen. I was like, I didn't feel that in at the time when when it was all going down.
That just shows how confused she is about this whole thing. Like, she doesn't really know. Veronica walks in at this point. It's like, where have you been? Been over here. Why aren't you in the room? I have been in this situation. Have you ever been to, like, I don't know if your family drags you to funerals, but my family has dragged me to funerals.
I think I've literally only been to, oh, you know what? It's funny because it's funny. I've been to 2 funerals technically in my life, and they were from my grandparents. But, and then I'm thinking about it, I have been to many other funerals, but only because, I would summer in Virginia with my grandparents.
I was like in Rhode Island.
Yeah, I really made it sound we saw it in the Hamptons. No, I spent summers in Virginia with my grandparents when they were alive, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were part of the church, and they would go sing on the choir when they had funerals. So technically, I've been to a bit of many funerals, but not for people I knew, and I think I was just too young to really even understand what was going on. So I was just kind of like sitting in the back as my grandparents were like singing for a funeral. Or actually, I probably went with them to like some of their friends' funerals at the time. I think I've been to like 1,000 funerals. Like, I'm not opening the drawers of my mind. But no, yeah. So I've never really been like, dragged to a funeral. Like, I've never been to a funeral of someone I didn't know that I was just like attending. I was just like, so I didn't have an Owen Alicia moment and be like, why am I here? What am I doing?
Yeah, it's always awkward for me because my parents would be like, so-and-so's so-and-so died. We have to go to the wake, or we have to go do the thing, or we have to, So, but then it's like, okay, I paid my respects to this person that I didn't really know, but I'm being respectful. I go do the thing. And then I look around and it's like, now what? Like,
yeah.
Now what do I do? Where do I go? And just like Alicia's mom here, my mom has probably told everyone what I do and volunteered me for some sort of babysitting service, some sort of something.
I assume that you would be in charge of like I don't know, helping elderly people start their TVs, or like
that too. Yep.
Pair up Bluetooth systems.
Oh, did you see internet? Marissa's here.
Yeah.
Lots of that.
Marissa Esmeralda can't get on her Wi-Fi. Can you figure that out?
right now. Can you do it right now?
Yeah.
Can you do it right now? So this is what has happened here to Alicia at this funeral. Veronica's like, yeah, no, I don't know him. I know the wife, Charlene. She's over there and she has a great haircut. Let's go meet her.
Yeah.
They go and meet Charlene. And I did not pick this up on first watch, Jason, but Charlene is definitely someone we know.
Charlene, I thought you would probably know her more
I
than
know.
I would. Funny you mentioned first watch because she is, I guess, a big part of third watch, or a little part of third watch.
Yes.
Also on Stranger Things. I also didn't watch Stranger Things. Please don't kill me. I've never
I
seen an episode of
won't.
Stranger Things.
You have to just watch out for the Demogorgon.
Yeah. Who is she? Was she someone important in Stranger Things? Like,
Yeah, she was Will and Nancy's mom, and then in the last season, she had a very pivotal role. She did the laundry. If you know, you know. She did the laundry, and also had a bottle of wine.
Yes. So that is Cara Buono.
Yeah.
Someone I've like seen here and there on different things, but not the things she's most famous for. I haven't even watched.
She also had a very pivotal The Other Woman role in Mad Men. It was a big storyline. So yes, but here she's playing Charlene with a fabulous haircut. And of course she's introduced to Alicia saying, "Thanks so much for doing this. It's so nice." It's just like, what am I doing? What is happening? And it turns out that Veronica has volunteered Alicia to help with a Blowtorch, like the company's name is Blowtorch. This case of the workers who have been fired or are being they haven't been fired, but they have been forced to sign a contract. And they've been overworking. And the reason why they're at this funeral in general is that Frank, the guy who died, fell asleep at the wheel and died because he was overworking at this company, Blowtorch. And so now they have this new contract that says, hey, you can't sue us based on like no matter what happens, you can't sue us. And so they're asking Alicia for help. I hate being voluntold by my parents about anything, so I related.
Well, especially in this way when it's Veronica gave Alicia no heads up whatsoever. Just walk. I'm sure if Veronica like explained this, then Alicia would have been like more prepared and ready to like give some advice at the very least. But the fact that she's just like running in blind, and you get the feeling this has happened a lot to Alicia, and Alicia's just like, okay, I'm being like offered up as some sacrifice or something. Sure, cool. And it's one of those things where you didn't know you were gonna get someone involved when this first thing came up, because Alicia starts out just being like, oh yeah, I can give you like some advice. I can
like pull up some contracts to you could look at it and see,
steer you in the right direction, and then she really gets in the weeds in this thing at some point.
I do like Owen's very little brother comment where he's like, nobody ever needs urgent math assistance.
Yeah, that's what you get, Alicia, for being a lawyer.
Over in the campaign, Peter is meeting with, I completely blank on his name, but he's Jeremy from Succession, aka the number one boy.
It's pollster Matt.
Yes. Yeah, Matt. And Peter's feeling good. He thinks he's 2 points ahead. He is riding the wave.
Marissa's like, rolling her eyes.
So behind my head, like I have to like literally, they've gone around a couple of times. And Peter is like, yeah, I'm so glad you're here because I don't want to be overly optimistic. And Matt's like, great, because you're being overly optimistic. You're actually down by 2 points. It's like, what do you mean?
I love this because Peter is like, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm good, with all the confidence of someone that knows he's good. Like, yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm not being crazy, right? But I'm not being crazy, right, Matt? I'm still good, Matt. Right. And Matt's like, nah, you're not good. And you just see like the panic on Peter's like, what do you mean I'm not good? Like,
it's like, call Eli, get Eli on the phone, do all this stuff. And Matt's like, okay, it's okay, we can still come back from this, but you have to attack Christiva. And Peter, in his astute political mind, is like, I can't do that because I will lose all credibility because I am a horrible human. And Matt's like, yeah, you're correct, but you know who can? Alicia can attack Christiva. And Peter's like, no, I will not ask Alicia to do this. I will not. And he gets a phone call. He thinks it's Eli, but it's actually Alicia. and he turns into like, I don't know who he is. I don't know what to call this. Annoying Peter, and says, "Do you want to have dinner with me on my campaign bus in the
Boy, that
city?"
that bus, they love that bus. I think even after Peter's done running, they're gonna keep that bus because this is a
Oh,
very important setting for them. This is where they do all their banging. This is where they do all their dating. They
so
love that
much
bus.
action in that bus. Yeah. Yeah. Back at the office, Alicia is very busy. She is still picking out her decor for her
Mhm.
office and all. And Nancy Crozier, it's almost like we called it,
Hey,
which we didn't even know. Nancy Crozier stops by, and we find out that she is representing Blowtorch. And I just, after learning who Nancy Crozier's mom is in real life, anytime she references her mom, I have to laugh. So she says to Alicia, "Oh, I love that rug. My mom has one just like it." And so I'm like, "Oh, Meryl Streep has that rug? What?"
yeah, we mentioned like, oh my gosh, yeah, we have almost all of our recurring players here, and then we're like, oh, where's Nancy Crozier? Nancy Crozier shows up. It's like, oh, great, great. Only person we're missing, Patty Nyholm,
We'll
and
see.
we'll see. We got one episode left after this. Patty Nyholm can't show up in the last episode of the season, can she? Can
She's
she?
I mean, I don't know. She's kind of magical. She's
Kind of
kind of
magical.
magical. The partners are worried about this Blowtorch case situation because Blowtorch has already sent a cease and desist order to the firm, and that is because the firm represents Chum Hum, and so they're like, "This is a little bit close to home for us." And Alicia's like, "Don't worry, like this is a favor from my mom. I will take care of it. This is fine." And then we get this really awkward moment between David Lee and Alicia where David's like, "Oh, your mom, Veronica? Oh, well,
Veronica's a
say hi to Veronica for me."
oh, okay, David. Just don't get stop getting horny. All right, relax over there.
And Will is like, "Alicia, they think you're the lawyer." She's like, "Yeah, no. I got it. It'll be quick. I'm going to take care of it. You know how I'm going to take care of it? I'm going to run over to Carrie's office and I'm going to see how he can help."
Carrie, who I guess is
Mr.
a specialist in contract law, because she's like, I need someone that knows what they're doing, and that's Carrie.
Well, and I also think like Carrie is definitely, for the people. So he's like, "Yeah, this contract sucks. There's no maternity leave. It suggests no overtime um after 60 plus hours and no bonuses." And they're in this room talking all about this, and we meet this assistant who we've never met before, but her name is Lorna.
I'm like, what? Excuse me. First of all, who the hell is Lorna? Who are you? Never met you before. Don't care about you. You know what? We did have an assistant that I cared a lot about.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect in this storyline, in this
Yeah.
situation. Her name was Courtney. Okay, where is Courtney? Okay, that's who I want to see. I don't want to see Lorna. I don't want to see
Well,
Margie. I want to see Courtney. What's happening? Well, we saw Courtney like it had to have been at least a season's worth of time here.
oh, for sure.
So you've
For
seen
sure.
Courtney.
For
We didn't
sure.
hear she got fired. We didn't hear anything else. I want my Sneakle Martin Green. I want my Courtney. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what to tell you. Courtney may have gotten a better gig at this point in
Yeah,
history.
yeah. She's probably already Sasha on The Walking Dead at this point.
Probably
But she could have come back for an episode,
for
right?
this.
To
For
really to really leave a mark on her time for the good life. Okay? I don't know.
Well, it's up to Lorna now because she's asked to make copies of these documents in triplicate, which, oh my gosh, that's a throwback. That's a word I haven't heard in a long time. But anywho, and she takes this information to the other assistants.
None of whom we've ever
Like,
met. None
no,
of whom.
except for some of whom who have won Academy Awards since
Yeah.
they've been on
Yeah. Just out of
the
nowhere. Margie, aka apparently David's assistant, is played by Divine Joy Randolph, who yes won an Oscar for her time on The Holdovers. I've never seen that movie. I heard it was a
Oh,
very
that's a
like
good
good movie.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's also in that other one.
Only Murders in the Building
That's the one.
and The Idol, which apparently was a very bad show, starring The Weeknd, that I never watched.
Oh, I forgot
Yeah,
about
but what
that. Yeah.
we'll forget her time there. But yeah, so she's like, oh, hey, other assistants that no one's ever met that we have no real investment in. If only someone was here
What?
that we had some investment in. Courtney.
But apparently, Marsha, that's her name?
Margie.
Margie. Yeah, Margie has been with David for 11 years. We find out
11
later
years.
in this episode. So,
We've never seen you before. Weird. It's
I
as
don't
if you were
know.
only cast for this one episode and we'll never see you again.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
So Lorna comes in there and she's like, "Hey, do you get paid overtime for 60+ hour weeks?" And they're like, "No." And we're just like, I was just in a meeting with Alicia and Carrie where they were arguing that is like standard. Like that is what should just happen. And so she's stirring up some support for some workers' rights within the ranks of the assistants. Meanwhile, Alicia and Carrie go meet with Nancy, and Charlene is there for some reason. We don't really know why, but she just keeps popping up. They're like, "Charlene, you do not need to be here." Like, but I am.
I mean, she started this whole thing. Charlene and Eugene, who is like Eugene. Fran Kranz is the actor's name, and I know him from Dollhouse. I was a big Dollhouse watcher back in the day. Really short-lived show before people named Joss Whedon got canceled. It was one of his shows. Really good show. But yeah, Eugene's here. Eugene and Charlene are kind of the ringleaders of this thing, I guess. So I guess she has a right to be here in a way. We didn't really need her, but she's like, I'm gonna show up here anyway because this is my thing. My husband was the one that died for it.
Yes, and at the same time, I think from Alicia and Carrie's perspective is like we're gonna be doing some like. Just let us do our thing.
We're talking about your dead husband, so I don't know if you want to be here.
Yeah. So they are coming to the table with a bunch of contracts. Alicia and Carrie are contracts from construction workers, the plumbers, all of the stuff that basically, because if you have no history of the labor and movement in the United States, it all started in the Haymarket in Chicago. Just Google it, you'll find out. But those are the types of jobs that have really made the union movement work in America. So these are the strongest examples that they have to bring to the table. And Nancy Crusher's like, "But Charlene, are you a plumber? Are you like as a coder? Are you a plumber? You're an artist. The work that you do is about magic and genius." Every time, like as someone who worked like anytime there's been a talk of a union in any of the jobs that I have been in, it's always like, "But what you do cannot be quantified. Like you are just so magical." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so magical. Do you want to pay me more?" And then we'd all shut up about it. No. Okay. Cool.
Well, I mean, Nancy is being Nancy, right? She's trying to use sympathy. She's trying to use like flowery language to be like, "Oh, your contribution can't be summed up in dollars and cents. You're better than that. Really worrying about that. It's all about your craft, right? You're not worried about the money." Like, and they're like, no, we're worried about money. Like, we do want money though. Like, we need money. We need money to survive in like the world. So yes, we're worried about money.
Just like, "Oh, okay, you're worried about money. Here are 20 letters of dismissal and everyone is fired. So if you're worried about money, good luck with that." I did like the line when Alicia goes to Nancy Crozier, "You're amazing. You know that?" And she goes, "I do know that." Eugene is so freaked out at this point. He's like, "I'll sign." And they have to really like talk him down to like not do this.
Well, Nancy's like, "No, actually, you can't sign anymore because I'm afraid your attitude is going to affect our other artists."
Yeah, exactly. So Alicia goes to have dinner on this bus, blah, blah, blah. They're having a hard day, blah, blah, blah.
They seem like a really great married couple right now. They're really just trading stories about their day. Peter seems even interested in what Alicia's going through. He even asks her about her day, like how it's going. It's not all about Peter. Such a nice portrait picture of a nice, happily married couple. Wouldn't you say, Marissa? Mar?
It's something, Jace. It's something. And he's brought out the first date pizza. They're having pizza that they had on the first date. They're having the wine they had on their first date, but Peter couldn't get glasses because they're on a bus. So they're just chugging it out of the bottle. And he's also like, "Oh yeah, so I have wine and I have pizza and I have a ring. I'm off in 2 weeks no matter what happens. So let's go renew our vows in Hawaii." And Alicia's like, I don't know about that. And Peter, I hate when men do this just in general. Say yes. Let the woman think. Let her think for a moment.
I mean, listen, he tells her, he's like, hey, I love you. I know, you know, we're on a better place now. And Alicia, rightly so, was like, listen, things are okay now, but they might
Right
not stay that
now.
way. They
Yeah.
might not stay that way. And as you said, he tries to kind of convince her. He's like, come on, just say yes. And she's like, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'm like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they've done enough to really. No, I think they probably have. I think Peter thinks he's changed.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, go ahead.
I think both of them are riding their egos. I think the closer they get to power, the more attractive they are to each other, because this is an election year. So he thinks he's a changed man because he's had to fake being someone he is not in front of the public at all times. And so he has believed that that is the version of him that he is. And that is the version that Alicia fell in love with. I can guarantee that Peter played a con of some sort on Alicia when they were getting married to like steal her away from Will or whatever. Again, in your prequel, whatever. I would like to, because I will give Peter that he does have a political mind. He does know how to strategize, and he does know how to think those things. I just think in this moment he thinks he is that person that he has portrayed himself to be to the state of Illinois. I care about women's rights. Jail bad. I'm a changed man because I went to jail. You know what I mean? Like all of those things that he's been repeating every day. I think he's kind of believed. And Alicia has also believed along with him and used it as like, because she was using sex to get away from the feelings of Will, she's riding that like post-coital high, and things are getting mixed up. Things are getting confused.
She's tricked herself into thinking she loves Peter. And I think Peter probably will get in the most trouble when he is in a position of power and he's like kind of static, right? Well, he's not running for something.
Correct.
When he's just in his normal everyday to day like life as either the governor or the state's attorney, he'll then start to get restless and be like, I'm kind of bored. Let me go F my life up. And by doing some stupid ish. And I think that's when he's in the most trouble. And it's in these times when things are going good, when he's very busy with the campaign and he and Alicia are stepping up for each other, when they have like these like roses in their eyes of like, oh my God, like this is so great. Like I love Alicia. She loves me. But then once you get into the everyday of the everyday, you're just like, oh, I really wish I could find a prostitute to have sex with right now. Like that's when he gets in trouble.
It's really like they're really just building this high, this like dopamine high of like, we're winning, we're doing this, we're having sex, oh my gosh, she remembered our first date, which is like bare minimum of things to do. And then, you know what I mean? Like all of these things. And at the same time, Alicia is actively trying to run away from what her body is trying to tell her. So she's like, let me just transfer these emotions to this picture of a man in front of me that is like, honestly, if it was, I don't know, some other man, any other man, she probably would have the same feelings for that man at the same time, because she's trying to run away from Will so much. She's just like, hi, you're here? Okay.
Yeah, if she didn't have these complicated feelings about Will, I could buy that Alicia is ready to settle down with Peter, but it feels like she is just running away. Like this will fix it. A renewal of my vows will fix this hankering I have for Will. It has to. It must, because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't. So she's really running toward that, like, you know, feeling of stability that could happen with Peter. The question is, you know, can she trust Peter to keep that stability?
Yeah. Can you? I don't know. Alicia and Carrie decide to have conversation with the Blowtorch employees who are like, they can't fire us. I'm like, actually, they can. You're an at-will employee, so you can be fired. But you cannot get fired if you say you were forming a union. And they're like, do you want us to? We are not Teamsters. We look down upon the Teamsters, which you really shouldn't, because they pretty much built up a lot of things. And Lorna is in this room going, what? Really? Oh, I can't get fired if I try to start a union? What? Huh?
Like a union, a union, you say, huh? Like we can organize and collectively bargain To get
Just like
stuff? What?
just like the last episode was like a very special, episode for rape victims and what they go through. I think this is definitely like a let's learn about your rights at your law rights at work because
The good wife, lower decks.
yes, exactly. They're like, listen, you can't get fired if you say you're going to form a union. So they're going to use this as a delay tactic and see if they can get leverage. Look into OSHA, see if there were any complaints filed against Blowtorch during this time. This is basically just advice, right? At this point, they're like, hey, just look into it. See how it goes. But this then spills into the ranks of the assistants. And they're like, oh my gosh, we could form a union. What? And we're introduced to, are we introduced to, or have we seen him before on The Good Wife? Because I have, he has been seen.
We've seen him
Rod.
before. It's my guy, John Michael Higgins. I think that's his name. Michael John Higgins. One of those orders of the names. Two first names are confusing. But he's here. We've met him before. I think he was a different kind of mediator in like season 3. I forgot exactly which episode it was, but we've seen him before for sure.
Yeah, and he is the judge at the National Labor Review Board. Now he's been promoted, which he references a couple times in here of like finally we get it. So Carrie's like, we have 18 affidavits saying that we were trying to form a union and we're asking time to like slow things down just so that we can prove that we were going to form this union. And Nancy's like, every day that goes by, Blowtorch is losing money and getting closer to bankruptcy. And Rod, I think we have seen him before because he's a compromise guy, right? Like he's always gonna want to compromise. So he's like, okay, well, let's get started. Like if you're gonna lose, we can have both. We can have a hearing, we can have this hearing, but we can also, go to the urgency that Blowtorch needs, and let's get questioning with your first witness.
Yeah, and Nancy does her Nancy thing. She's like, "Oh, excuse me, Judge. I'm not used to being here, so I don't know exactly the rules." And she calls Alicia. I'm like, "Oh, I thought this would be more polite. She's being very mean to me. She's being very forceful with her words, Judge." And Rod, of course, Rod's one of the ones that's going to fall for it. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, could you guys be nicer to Nancy?"
Yeah,
please?
pretty much.
Yeah, Nancy's doing her thing, and like you said, it's just like, Alicia and Carrie are like, hey, like, they're trying to unionize. Like, they want to file an injunction, kind of ensuring that Blowtorch can't fire them. And Nancy's like, well, I mean, listen, Blowtorch is not doing great right now. Blowtorch is going through some stuff, and we need our people. So we got to get this thing figured out. And Rod, I think, who's kind of right. He's like, well, I mean, yeah, like, why not? Let's get this thing going. Like, you guys want to unionize? Let's do it. Like, don't just talk about it, be about it. And so this kind of forces Carrie and Alicia's hand to be like, okay, what now? And we only have freaking Charlene and Eugene here, the Eanes. And so the Eanes are going to have to like get up there and start tap dancing for their lives.
But Eugene is so freaked out about this. He's so
such a goody. He's like, I can't lie. What do I do? They're like, we're not going to make you lie. We're just going to have you tell the helpful truth, which is such a fantastic phrase.
Yeah,
I'm going to start using that. I'm really going to start using
honestly that. Like anytime you're questioned, we have talked about like what to do when you're questioned by someone in the law. Like, answer the question that you're being asked. Don't give any other information. Like, do you know what time it is, Jason?
I know what time it's not.
Or like yes or no, like you don't say like it's 12:45. Like you say
I am
yes
aware
no.
There are devices in my vicinity that would be able to tell me what time it is. Yes.
See?
I have the ability to tell the time. That is true. I do know that. I'm surprised my daughter hasn't hit me with that before, because she does that type of stuff all the time. I'm just telling the helpful truth. I think it's also AKA my truth. I'm telling my truth. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one. For sure. The Department of Labor stops by the firm because they were looking into complaints in Blowtorch. And this was funny because the Department of Labor is like, oh yeah, there's nothing against Blowtorch, just one that was withdrawn. But what about here? Is there anything going on here that I should know about? And Robin because it's Robin and Kalinda in this situation. Robin pipes up and she's like, no, everything's great. Great pay, great benefits. And Kalinda's like, what? Great what?
Benefits, you say? That's
The
interesting.
what? And as the guy from the Department of Labor is exiting the building by the elevators, the assistants are like, hey, Department of Labor, you say? Can we have a little chat?
Yeah, I at the time this was going on, I thought this was going to be the spark of something a lot bigger. Like, what Good Wife loves to do near the end of seasons is like pre-start stuff for the season
Yes.
before. I was like, are we about to get like some big labor dispute like for Lockhart Gardner? We're not gonna have any assistance, we're not gonna have any help. But it seems like by the end of the episode, it's all kind of just squashed. So maybe not.
For now.
We'll see.
For now.
Like, is Lockhart Gardner gonna get shut down by the Department of Labor? Oh my god.
Eugene is on the stand and he's freaking out. But he is telling the helpful truth by saying things like the contract felt like retribution, which is never a good sign if you're in a labor dispute. And they're asked, did you collectively voice your outrage to your boss? We're like, we got together collectively together. We discussed the potential of forming a union.
And Alicia is really trying with Eugene. She's like, so you talked about unionizing before you even talked to him. He's like, well, no, not really. He's like, but you talked about like what it would be like to potential of the unionization potentially, right? Potentially, right? Eugene, right? Eugene, when you talked to me at the funeral before the contract stuff, there was like some roundabout talk of getting together for something.
I believe
like,
the word union was mentioned at some point.
Yeah, Eugene, right? Eugene's like, yes, there was potentially the potential of potentially talking about a union.
And to which Nancy Crozier's like, that's so cute. Charlene, I'm going to call you to the stand. And that's a little bit of a blow to our side because they're like, wait, Charlene, why are you going over there?
And like, how dare you sit behind us when you're about to turncoat on us? Like, that's always how it goes, right? Because we've seen this a few different times. Like, we call on the person that was a part of our people's team, but now they're on our team. And it's like, how dare you? Like, they look behind them like, you're still sitting behind us, even though you're going to switch sides up on us, you turncoat.
Yeah. Yes. Back at the campaign office, this is how I know Peter is not a changed man. This scene proved it to me.
Oh, come on.
Because let me tell you. No. I'm going to tell you why. Because Peter brings Owen in to look over Matt's polling because he's the statistics guy, right? Like, he's the guy who can read math.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, we have never been really close. And Owen's like, what about it? Like, I just, did kind of ask Alicia to like renew our vows. It's like, that's the thing that I did. And Owen's like, Peter, this is not a campaign. This is life. Like, you only brought me here to ask me to put in a good word for Alicia. And Peter's like, yes, that is exactly what I did. And Owen's like, okay, peace out. This is how I know the man is just running a campaign for Alicia. He is just trying to win Alicia.
Marissa, you mean to tell me you've never like tried to convince someone of something by going through someone else? Like, hey, can you like try? He's just trying to get her a good word put in. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. He's trying to use all the resources available to him.
For what though, Jason? For
to get
to
the outcome he needs.
Win.
Yes. But it's not just about getting Alicia to badmouth Christiva. I think Peter really.
It was for Alicia, not to badmouth Christiva. Like, that's not the play he was making. He was making the play for Alicia.
Listen, it's no fun fact. We are recording this on Valentine's Day. Okay. Hey, Peter knows Alicia's the love of his life. You're telling me you wouldn't do anything to get the love of your life? Even talk to.
I would not manipulate the love of my life in trying to be the love of my life.
Marissa, it's not manipulation. It's just helping someone see the truth that was already there and using people close to that person
you
to
watch
help
too
them
much.
see the light.
You watch too
Manipulation.
much. Love is Blind, too much. Married at First Sight, too much. You have been tainted by the reality television look and winning the game.
Peter is just trying to enlist some help in getting Alicia to see the light. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's so much wrong with that. There's also so much wrong with Charlene going on the stand and saying that Alicia said the only way out of this was to form a union.
She straight up snitched on Alicia.
Yeah, and Alicia's like, I would like to remind you that you're basically waiving privilege for the other people because we, had this conversation. Rod's like, how to split this baby? What do we do? And Carrie's like, you don't have to. Like, you just make a decision. And so they leave this as like, is inclusiveness, like, is there an answer here? Like, I don't know. How did you?
I think Rod pretty much decides, well, I'll just let Charlene speak for the whole class, basically. I'll just let them I'll let her just reveal this information, use that as gospel. Like, and Charlene confirms we had no real intention of unionizing before the whole talk with Alicia. Like, she pretty much blows up the whole union.
The whole thing. Yeah. The whole thing. Back at the firm, Will and Diane and David confront Alicia about the assistants because they're like, listen, no one was talking about a union before you started talking about a union, basically. And what is David's number one play?
Firing. We're just gonna fire everyone. Just fire him. Like, that's his answer for every road bump they ever. We'll just fire the person involved. That's fine. Like, he had the same thing for the 4th years, and they were trying to get together. He's like, just fire him. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, he doesn't want to hear any of the demands. Like, because Alicia is trying to come at this like at least a little bit sensibly. Like, let's just listen to some of their demands, give them some concessions. It'll be fine.
Well. And she's also being reminded, because she's being met with that when she says that, the firm is like, we don't have the money to like fulfill those demands. And she's like, oh, well, we could if we didn't take bonuses. Like, she's trying to remember like who she was when she had those conversations with Carrie, because all of those walks last episode when they were talking about everything that Carrie is up to. So she's trying to find if there's room for that here, and it seems like there is not.
Like, if I'm Alicia, I'm just like, Carrie's echoing my mind. Like, Howard gets $4 million a year for doing nothing, while Diane and Will are telling me we don't have the money. It's like, okay, I know for a fact that we have the money, because I know for a fact that just a few episodes ago we were celebrating about the fact that we're in the black. We're so profitable. We can
3 times the amount of profit that we thought we were going to have.
So don't tell me we don't have the money.
And also, I don't know if I really need $10,000 to furnish my office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I will get some carpeting from Bob's Discount Furniture down the street. Like, I'll get a rug or something. Like, I don't need $10,000 to decorate my office. You can give that to somebody else.
And management comes back with, and this is always the line, like in any situation, it's not this particular moment, Alicia. It's the precedent. Like, if we listen and then take action, anyone could run us over. It's kind of like, if we take action on all of the people named in a specific group of files, everything could just tumble down. And we can't have that. We can't have that. We can't do that. That would be so bad.
Yeah.
Where the people are saying, screw that. Let's just, take it as it comes and, take care of it as it is here.
Do the right thing morally.
Yes.
We can't do the right thing morally because it'll just upend everything that's built on immoral actions. You don't want that, do you? Like, you don't want a society run by morals and ethics. That would be crazy.
Even though we are a law firm that is governed by morals and ethics.
What?
What? So hard.
You mean we're founded on morals and ethics? Say what? No. Get out of here.
Carrie, Robin, and Kalinda are having a conversation about the findings from the Department of Labor. And Robin leaves saying, okay, I'm going to look into Charlene to see if she's being paid off, because this turncoatness is a bit
Well,
suspicious.
yeah, I mean, and they find out that the complaint came from Charlene,
That's
but
right.
she withdrew it. Like
Yes.
after right after she put it in, she for some reason withdrew the complaint. So we got to figure out what that's about.
Right. And Kalinda uses this information to say to Carrie, did you know that like Robin gets healthcare? Did you know about that? It's like, no, I didn't know about that. Then she goes, do you want to know if Charlene is getting paid off? It's like, yeah, of course I do. It's like, well, ask Robin. She gets healthcare.
Yeah. Like Kalinda is. I love how annoyed Kalinda is by this. She's like, oh, like because Kalinda is someone that's always keeping score. Like we know that about
Yeah.
Kalinda. And Kalinda, as we'll see later, like is using this information like, okay, how much more am I getting paid than Robin? Because that's what's important here. Because I deserve to be paid more than Robin.
Thankfully so, because there are so many cases that come in because Kalinda came in a clutch, because she was able to deliver information at the end of the day. And so it's not like she has an unfounded value here. She definitely deserves it. So anytime she has, which I really appreciate about the show, is like Kalinda really does show opportunities where you can take time to have those conversations. And Carrie knows this about Kalinda, right? Like she knows, because they've had these conversations before. And so
maybe in bed, maybe some pillow talk.
Who knows? We don't know.
Who knows anymore? Yeah.
Carrie tells Kalinda, like, look, if you come to my firm and you'll come exclusively, I might be able to get you healthcare. I might be able to get you more money.
Like, and
it's gonna take like 3 months for me to get my ducks in a row.
This is really the first time he's really coming out and saying, like, to Kalinda, like confirming to her, like, listen, I am officially like leaving. I'm going to start my own thing, and I want you to come with me. Obviously, no surprise to Kalinda that he's leaving. She probably already knew this to begin with.
Well, I think
he kind of told her last episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so she's like, okay, well, listen, Kalinda is all about the bottom line. When it comes to money,
she's very business.
She's very business. She doesn't have a lot of like loyalties over money, right? It's kind of all about the bottom line for her, which is fine. That's kind of the Kalinda vibe. Like, I don't care. You give me more money, then that's the thing. And so she's using this to be like, hey, like, I don't care who I go to. You give more money, I'm yours. Let's go. Let's do this thing.
She has a sense of loyalty to herself, not to anything else. And which is very empowering to see. So yeah, at this point, so Carrie's like, it's gonna take 3 months to get my ducks in a row. She goes, well, when your ducks are in a row, call me. But in the meantime, someone recently withdrew that complaint, so I would start looking there. And then that's where we find out that Charlene is the one who made the complaint. We're back in front of the review board, and Nancy is playing the most Nancy Crozier of the cards. Are you really going to get in the way of this woman's grieving process? Like, she did this because she was so distraught over her husband's death. And at the end of this, because this information has been revealed, Ron decides to give 24 hours to get a union vote to happen here, and rightfully so in his judgment, because Carrie and Alicia are like, oh my gosh, we need more time. Like, listen, if they were really organizing, this should be easy for you. Like, they should be ready to vote today. They should be able to vote in front of me. Like, that should be easy peasy, but it's not so easy peasy.
No.
We do see some resistance methods from some of the assistants, because Jenny, Will's assistant, is not using spell check, and he's like, what do you mean? Why can't you just use spell check?
I was like, Will, ew. He's like, Jenny, what's up with this? Run through a spell check. Like, well, yeah, that was very forceful. I was like, I don't think it's the time you want to be talking back to the assistants, like jerks.
Yeah. But he doesn't continue that conversation because he sees that Kalinda is in his office. So he's like, okay.
In his chair behind his desk.
Yes. It's just, he's like, we're not having this conversation again. We are not talking about money. And Kalinda's like, yeah, we're not. We're talking about healthcare because Robin gets healthcare. And then this line, anytime you hear this line, by now, if you do not know, you should run for the hills. But if a company says, what happened to being a family? What happened
Well,
to doing things for other people? What
I
about
thought he was talking.
this loyalty?
I thought he was talking facetiously in that moment of like, I think he knows who he's talking to. He knows that type of
For sure.
nonsense is
But
not going to fly. He's being his douchey self. He's like, oh, hey, you know, all the time talk about family and dedication. What about that, huh? Like he's joking with Kalinda because he knows that does nothing for Kalinda at all. Like he knows not to even bother with being serious about it. He's just kind of joking with her because he knows who she is. And like, you know, as I said earlier, like Kalinda's like, listen, healthcare, like she has done the math. She's like, healthcare equals out to $30,000 a year. And so if you do the math, that means Robin is not making that much less than me. And I need to be making much more than Robin because I am much more seasoned than Robin. I have had more time in the job than Robin. So I need to be making much more than Robin. I love how she like does the equations in her head, like, okay, like I need to be staying this much ahead of Robin, which is great because she knows her worth. She knows what she's worth to the company. She knows what Robin's worth is to the company. And she knows the gulf of experience and like value that Kalinda brings, and she's demanding that value, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, and Kalinda has also gone in here to tell Will, like, I'm being propositioned by another firm, and Will is kind of just like, you're never going to be exclusive to any firm, so I don't even know why we're having this conversation. Like, go talk to your imaginary firm and see if they can like best.
What? I don't understand why Will doesn't understand who this
yeah,
firm is. It's like,
well, and especially because he was just in conversations, like he was able to identify that the fourth years were disgruntled and we're going to have labor disputes. Like,
yeah, we just talked about this 2 episodes ago. Where
I don't understand.
Like he's like, oh yeah, your imaginary new firm. He's like, you were just called to attention that Carrie is doing something. Why don't you know about this? Why can't you figure this out? But I think he just thinks this is more of Kalinda, like, you know, playing them against other people that may or may not be real. So like it feels like he and Kalinda have this conversation once every 3 months where she's like, I need more money. He's like, all right, again, this conversation, go to your imaginary new firm. And no, for real, this is real. This is actually
real. This for real this time.
And he does tell her, like, listen, if you become exclusive with us, I will get you more money. He says, but freedom costs you. Like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong. Like, that is an important part of Kalinda's character as well. So the vote happens with the union at Blowtorch. It is tied. And at this point, the vote is going to go to management. There are 2 management votes up. So they're like, okay, let's go try to swing those votes. Like, let's go talk to those people. Back at the firm, the assistants talk to Alicia at first. Alicia's doing her best diplomatic self, having these conversations. And David Lee walks in, being the most David Lee he could ever be. But we learn that the assistants at Lockhart Gardner get paid less than any other firm in the city, and they want more flexibility to go see their kids. So they're looking for a 7% bump, a 3-year investment in ownership of the firm. And of course, David Lee hears any of this and he's like, we could just fire you. I will fire my assistant who's been my assistant for 11 years. Like, and we have seen like really bad treatment up until this point of David Lee against Margie, because Margie was like just talking in the office and it's like, what are you doing? Well, I was going to get your lunch. Is this where lunch is? You know, like so bad. So bad.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to go on strike. It's like, you can barely get my lunch order right. What do you mean you're going to go on strike?
Yeah, so bad. Also, I don't know why they threw this in here, but it's Zach's 18th birthday.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, why do we care? I was like, okay, cool. It was kind of a weird segue into figuring this. I was like, I guess
they were like Stocker Channing and Owen were on the call list. They were there, so we might as well do a family scene. And Zach, of course, gets teased because he can buy cigarettes and porn and all this stuff. And Alicia's the situation. But then Owen and Alicia sneak out into the kitchen, classic sibling conversation territory. And Owen tells Alicia about his meeting with Peter. And he has been swung in this situation because he tells Alicia, I might have been wrong about him. He is being vulnerable. And I'm like, Owen. No, Owen.
I know you love that.
No, no. Meanwhile, Veronica wants to give Zach wine because who doesn't give kids wine? Like such the old school parent way
And
of parenting.
Veronica's like, I gave you wine at 16, Alicia. Alicia's like, yeah, I know. It's why I can't go a day without having a glass of wine.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much. Pretty much. So Owen tells Veronica about this whole situation. Of course, Alicia is like, "Can I just have my life? Like, can you please just leave me alone?" And Veronica sees like right through this. Like Peter ties her down. She's like, "I'm going to talk to Peter,"
she
and
just said
Alicia goes,
In 2 months, we were back with the hookers. I was like,
"Yeah, yeah, exactly." She's like, "I'm going to talk to Peter," and Alicia goes, "If you talk to the Peter, talk to the Peter. If you talk to Peter, you will never see the kids again." And Veronica's like, "Okay, well then I won't talk to Peter, but I am going to talk to someone." So back on the Blowtorch case, mysteriously, the swing votes were fired. They were just fired. So they go back to court, arguing that they were fired in the middle of this vote. Nancy Crozier, of course, is arguing they were fired for cause. So there's nothing that can be. They called in sick, but they really weren't sick. This is, you want to know why I hate capitalism, and I hate, like, I just hate it. I hate it so much. But that's why they were fired.
well, and it's the way they were fired is interesting
Yes.
because apparently, these two people called out sick, and then for however they did this, they recorded the company recorded a video call. As I think now we probably just call them FaceTimes or Zooms or
Or
whatever.
Zooms or Teams or
Yeah.
Slacks or whatever.
So the company, because they make these calls on company laptops, the company has the right and the power to look in on the conversations, and the company figured out these people were not actually sick, so they fired them for faking sick, which Nancy argues like, hey, we didn't fire them because they were trying to unionize. We fired them because they were lying about being sick. So we're all good.
And we abided by the terms of use policy by like using company equipment to spy on them, basically, like to do all this stuff. This stuck with me so much that I am still petrified to combine anything from work and personal life on the same device. Like I would advise against it at all costs, especially now, because who knows what spyware they have going on there. But yes, that is what happened. And then Rod, of course, is like, well, we compromised in some way, shape, or form. I forget what he said. Do you remember what he?
I let you guys have a vote, and that is the compromise. So I'm allowing them to have these people fired. Just like, no, the compromise, you made that compromise a long time ago. Now you're making new compromise with the other side while just still giving us just our vote. Like, you gave us our vote a while ago. You need to give us some new stuff in this compromise, because I'm not feeling very compromisorial here, because we're not getting new stuff to compromise with. We still got just a little vote. Usually letting us have our vote. Great. And yeah, so it's just like, Rod's like, hey, like, those people got fired, we're letting them get fired. So those two swing votes are off
gone.
The table.
Yeah.
So now we're at a dead 29-29. So we got to figure something out.
So Alicia decides to go visit Charlene, and Charlene is not happy to see her at her door. She closes the door on her. Alicia's just like, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And Charlene's like, actually, give me a minute. And she goes, gets her phone, and it's Nancy Crozier on the phone saying, as Charlene's lawyer, I must ask that you desist.
Charlene, that was dramatic for no reason. You didn't need to do all that. You could have just said no, close the door. I'm just going to break the door down, okay? You need to sick Nancy on me, Charlene. Jerk.
Yeah. Kalinda then goes to Carrie and says, hey, if I'm exclusive to your new firm, can you beat this number? And he's like, I'm not getting in a bidding war here, Kalinda.
Yes, you are. It's like, I know you don't want to, but that's just what it is.
David is mad because one of his lunch reservations didn't work out. So he is like, okay, listen, this is personally affecting me and my lunch situation. So we need to fire the ringleaders, being Margie and Lorna. We need to fire them, split them up. Like, this is it. I don't know why David is so mean to everyone, but he is.
It's just who David is, right? I think the more David is shown, the more cruel he is. It's like they've really amped up the cruelness factor on David. Before it was just kind of like David would come in, make some snarky barbs, and exit the scene. But more and more, he's just a real heel, a real dick.
Yeah. Charlene's back on the stand. And it turns out that anyone who owns 5% of the stock, once the stock goes below a certain number, becomes a board director or a member of the board of directors. So now she's on the board of directors and she can't vote because the price of Blowtorch during this entire dispute has gone down. And so it's ruled that the election can go on without her, which is kind of a blow to the Blowtorch management, I think.
Yeah, because Charlene was a vote counting against unionizing. So we were at 29-29. So if we lose Charlene's vote, we have the majority to unionize.
Yes. Then it is time for Alicia to meet with Peter Rose, who is
Rose.
Oh yeah, sorry. Could have been the same person because they both have similar values. Meets with Charlie Rose in an interview, and Alicia is on fire. And this, like, she's very politically astute. She is doing the best good wife that she can do in the situation by spinning everything to Kristeva's present issues of alcoholism, like basically saying like the reason why he can't do all of this or the reason why he's coming after Peter is because he doesn't want there to be light on his present issue of alcoholism. And just remember, behind every single politician, there is a spouse doing everything else. There is someone who's picking all of that stuff up. And this is like really where you can see her political mind shine. So kind of like, again, to that whole like, oh, we're in election, let's be in love. I think there's like game recognizing game in this situation because she's really, really doing well.
Very interesting that this whole episode, there was no Eli to like.
Yeah.
It's a really good Eli thing for him to be on, like to really kind of try and coach Alicia up, but she ain't need no coaching. She's like, I got this, baby, I got this. She's like, she came on national television like, Mike Kristeva is a no good, dirty ass alcoholic, and I said that shit.
Well, and then she said at the end, if there is not anyone more committed to women and children in the state of Illinois than my husband. But that's what she said.
That's what she
said. She really like hit a home run out of here. While this is all going on, Will is watching from the office and Veronica stops by. And first he's like, David Lee is over. It's like, no, I'm not here to talk to David Lee.
She's like, I already saw David Lee. She's like, so she didn't go see David. Like, I don't know what's going on with David and Veronica, but I would love if David turned out to be Alicia's stepdaddy. That'd be hilarious.
But I thought David was working on something for Alicia's, like, not Alicia's, Veronica's divorce thing, death
I don't know.
of someone situation. Anywho.
It felt like a social
yes, it did. And Will's there drinking and watching this interview, and she says the line about being the most committed person to women and children in the state of Illinois. And Veronica says to Will, hard to believe she can say that with a straight face, huh? And she says, do you love my daughter? Because there's a window, and that window is closing. It's time to stop being polite about it.
This is some like Game of Thrones, like Littlefinger shit. It's just like,
like, hey. But also, like, I want you to know it was me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Tell Peter it was me. Yes. But yeah, this is wild. It almost felt a little too cute for the good wife, right? It's like this almost like a little too much for Veronica to be like in the shadows meeting with Will. Being like, the time is now, William. You must take your shot while you can.
Well, he's just like, it's always great to see you, Veronica. Like,
I'm surprised Will didn't stand up and was like, you know what? I am not gonna throw away my shot.
I mean, I do appreciate that Will has this knowledge. I don't know if there was a better way for him to get it other than Veronica saying
I
something.
mean,
It would have been cool if Owen said something, but I
I'm not
don't.
sure anyone needed to tell Will this. I think
Well,
anyone
no,
could
there's like an
try
actual
this.
clock now. Like there's an actual clock, like
Yeah,
because of the vow renewal situation.
I just don't even know if Will was even thinking of a clock. Like I don't even. I think Will had been kind of resigned that he lost at this point.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Oh, for
As
sure.
we've seen, throughout the season, he's just like, okay, yeah, it's over. We've had the conversation about it being over several times, but now here comes Veronica, kind of like renewing some hope of like, hey, like I know you thought it was over,
Well,
but it
that's
wasn't actually over, but it's about to be over, like over. It's about to be really over. So you
well,
got
and
to move now
that's
if you
also on
want.
top of his like failed dating with Hellinger.
Challenger, which was so weird that was such a small space of time where it's like, and it just kind of feels like that was the last we'll ever see of Hellinger. I don't
Oh,
know
for
why,
sure.
but it's just
Yeah.
like it was such an odd way to end that, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But like for Veronica to be like, all right, bro, it's your time. Got to move it. Like Will's like, what? Like you gotta see the confusion on Will's face. Like, okay, cool. He doesn't really confirm or deny anything with Veronica. He's just like, okay, good to see you. Bye.
Well, and I don't know if I were Alicia how I would react if Will was like, my mom told me or told, you know what I mean?
Your
Like
mom
he
told
wouldn't,
me.
yeah, like he wouldn't play
I think
that
he knows
card,
not to
but
say anything about Veronica showing
yeah.
up. I think this is just supposed to spurn him to move to action.
Yes.
And I'm very curious to see what that action is going to be, because it really makes you feel like there's going to be some sort of new declaration.
Do you think that's gonna happen this season? Like we only have one episode left.
I feel like there might be an ending cliffhanger of like another declaration, because we had a declaration. Was it the end of season 1 where he left the voicemails?
Yes.
That she never heard. Like, could this be a new form of that? Like, hey, I know we've done this 1,000 times before, but for reals this time.
Will there be an elevator? Will there be an elevator?
Like, there's gotta be, right? And so I'm really curious to see what that moment will, what action Will's going to take from this. Is he going to get ready to make the action and then like see, no, it's really, really done this time. I can't keep fooling with this.
Or do you think it's going to be like, I'm up to the plate, I'm ready to go, and then he gets news of what happens at the end of this episode, which we'll get to in like 2 seconds. Yeah. The Union, again, they win because it's 29-28. So they're ready to start negotiations in terms of what the union contract will look like. They're all super excited. They're all ready to go. And again, Nancy Crozier, the biggest Debbie Downer in the world, I think, in terms of legal arguments. Like, oh, I'd love for that to happen, but Blowtorch doesn't exist anymore. Chum Hum just bought them.
Well, it's like in real life, like, Nancy, you couldn't have said this like an hour ago
before. No, because I think she wanted the price to go down as well. I think she like Blowtorch wanted to get sold. And
no, but just the fact that it's like, okay, then why did we even bother with this vote, Nancy? Why didn't you just tell us that to begin with?
Yeah, that's kind of true. And so Alicia goes back to the firm and is like, did you drive the price of this down for Chum Hum? Like, is that what was going on here? Because she's in this mind of everything that's going on with the assistants, like management doing everything for management's sake. She's like, did you screw me over, basically?
Yeah, I thought she was a little too presumptuous there. I was like, there was no real evidence of that we saw. I was like, from what I felt, I was like, I think she's jumping to conclusions here. And what was your feeling about this? Like, was she being a little too dramatic with this? Of like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking? Like Will says, like, you brought this to us. Like, this has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, but I think she has cause because of everything of management's actions with the assistants, with saying, and especially here when they come to the resolution of the story where we learn that Lauren MRG are made supervisors. So they're just basically placated. They're made supervisors. They can telecommute. And Alicia has an objective or an objection to this. Like she's like, so you just placated the situation. And the answer is this is what management does. So I do think in this way she is learning, she's a partner now. She is learning that the conversations and the decisions that happen at this level are not for the people, are not for the best interest. It's a little bit different than what she experienced when she was an associate, because that was always, we want you to do well, we want you to grow, we want you to climb the ladder, we want you to be a partner here. And then once when you're a partner, it's like you lose that we want you to do well. Like no one's cheering for you anymore. Like you have to cheer for yourself.
And Alicia didn't see inside the machine when she was on the outside.
Exactly. It's like you don't want to see how the sausages are getting made.
Exactly. So now as she sees it, it tells her a lot of things. It tells her and she has this looming offer from Carrie to join his firm, we can be the new Will and Diane. We can do things the right way, unlike Will and Diane are right now. We can save the world, is basically what he's saying. And with Alicia seeing the ugly side of management, I'm sure she's saying to herself, if I do this with Carrie, we'll be different. Like we won't
that's
do
what
this
she's believing, for sure. Oh, for sure. But unfortunately, the wheel of capitalism spins on, and they will be in the same situation.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's interesting the way that her emotions are flipped and pulled by Will and what he does, right? Because we saw Will with Rainey in the last episode, where he's fighting for her rights. He's fighting for her to get out of jail. He's empathizing with her, and that's where Alicia really gets the vapors of like, oh my god, Will's the man. Will's knight in shining armor.
Literally shaking as she's leaving him.
Oh, his gallantry is just so hot. Like I really just want this man. He does all the right things. And now in this situation, she's seeing the other side of Will. She's like, oh, Will is management. Will is the man. Will is willing to screw the subordinates over, for the best interest of, the bottom line of the firm.
And I'm sure if Alicia and Kalinda were allowed in the same room, she would be like, what do you mean Kalinda doesn't get healthcare? What do you mean?
Right. It was so funny because in the moment earlier in the episode where like Kalinda, Will, Alicia, and Diana talk about the whole blowtorch thing, and Will sees Kalinda go into his office. He's like, all right, I gotta go talk to Kalinda. It's like that's why if Archie and Juliana were even in the same studio at the same time, it's just like, all right, she gets a 30-foot thing for me.
I am really curious, like honestly, if there's I'm sure there's NDAs, but like any production, like were they even on set on the same days?
I doubt it.
Like,
I really doubt it.
How did this go out? But
yeah, I'd love to know that. But like going back to the story, it's like, and she sees Will now doing what he's doing now, being like, oh, you're management. You're not working in the best interest of your employees, which leads us to, I'm sure, your favorite scene.
Oh, yeah. So she's like, okay, well, my mind's made up. Let's go to the bus. So she goes to the bus. And Peter's like, oh my gosh, it's the dead heat. You did this, like your interview with Charlie Rose. You did so great. And then Alicia says, you promised to never put me through this again. And he's like, yeah, I promise. And then she goes, okay, fine. Not really, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, fine. We'll get remarried or whatever. And then they kiss, and then it's like an ugh. So I feel like you are like, the pickup on how she is basically swayed by Will's actions is really telling here, because I think if this proposal came from Peter last episode, it would have been a definite no. It would have been like, no. What have you done for women and children? You know what I mean? Like, have you helped rape victims in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, but I mean, she sees Will like, oh, you're all about what's your best interest. You're all about you. I already got that at home. Like, I can have that with Peter, so I might as well just go with the devil I already know that's attached to my children.
And if we look at it in terms of what her her morals are and what her values are. In this case, Will was definitely down low, right? Like he was like not matched. But Peter, because he's running for governor, talking good, talking altruistically, talking about helping the common person, like that was enough to sway her over to his side of the things for her, enough to say, let's renew our marriage vows. And I am very concerned that Will is going to get up the courage to say something for
She's gonna
real.
smack him down.
He's
You're
going to
like,
be like, by the way, I'm going to Hawaii. Bye.
yeah, like I can see a moment where like we're at the very end of the episode, whether Peter has won the governor or not, they're going to be like maybe she's on the way out to go to Hawaii, and that's when Will decides to make his declaration, and she's just like, it's too late. Like you're too
Do you
late. Man.
think we'll get? I mean, like I honestly cannot remember at all. I was like, do you think we get a airport running scene?
I don't know. I feel like that would have been in my memory banks, but I don't think so. But we'll see. I'm very curious of what the season finale is going to bring. I'm excited to get into it with you next week.
Yeah.
So it's it's just the way that her emotions have swayed so much with Will, and it really does feel like it's either Will or Peter. It's not no one.
It's not Alicia. That's
right.
The thing. It's not Alicia. It's Will or Peter. It's not Alicia.
I thought there was a moment. There was a moment in the past where she was like, I'm just choosing me. I forgot when that was, where she's like, it's just me. But it feels like now it's a very binary choice of it's either Will or it's either Peter. And the actions of Will in this moment are like, well, it's Peter.
But like if he called her and said, I made $1 million donation to Greenpeace, she would be like, oh my God.
See you, Peter. Bye. It would be Will. So it's a very odd thing for her to sway so much on just the day-to-day actions of Will. But yeah.
And I think, honestly, I think that Carrie plays into that triangle mix a little bit too, not in a romantic way, but just in a values way. Like she's like, okay, if Will's going to be management, Carrie at least can be the valiant for the people person in my life. And then there's Peter.
Well, I mean, the Carrie stuff plays.
Who I know.
The Carrie stuff plays into her professional life for sure,
right?
Because she has a professional side and a personal side. Both of them are kind of swayed by the actions of Will in these moments of like, yeah, this reminds me of what Carrie's been saying. Will and Diane have lost the plot. They've lost the message. They've lost what they came in here for. I won't do that. I'll stay true to my values and true to my ethics. It's like, yeah, like everyone says that. It's only a select few that stay true to that.
I'm sure Georgetown Will was definitely a Carrie, you know?
Yeah, of course. And if Alicia does go with Carrie and makes this new firm, I would be very curious to see how long it takes for her to start like realizing the struggle that Diane and Will have to stay true to their values of like, oh, I didn't realize that, I was being so idealistic, right? We talked about last episode where, idealism versus reality, when that would hit Alicia as being the head honcho of her own firm, when she would have to start compromising some of these morals and ethics and values that she holds really, really dear to right now.
Yeah, it's almost like, Jason, it's almost like the system is corrupt. And no matter what you do, you're going to run into this. It's almost like that. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Marissa,
we'll see if this fictional TV show has a different outcome.
Marissa, I could live in a society that does that, so I don't know what you're talking about. That would be outrageous. So that is episode 21. One more episode left until we end season 4. Time has really flown by in this podcast we're doing. We're almost to season 5 of this thing, and it just feels like we just started yesterday. But Marissa, you want to tell the good people where they can find you and what you're up to nowadays?
Sure. Good folks, you can find me at itsmemarissag.com, where you can find links to all of the podcasts I'm on, including this one. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you didn't even know we had a YouTube channel, you can find the link there. And please stop by, say hi, subscribe. I think the bell thing is still a thing to make sure that you get notified when we post things. Elsbeth is coming back in a couple weeks, so there will be more activity over there as well. You can find me also on Whirlwind Podcast Network talking about Pretty Little Liars one previously on at a time. The podcast itself is called Previous Little Liars. We are in season 5. We are finally watching all of the episodes, so we are getting to do that there. And then over talking with my sister at USS Sisterhood, talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation. You guys, I started substitute teaching, and so my brain is a little discombobulated. So I mean, I learned new words like glazing.
Oh yeah, you know what glazing was?
I didn't know what glazing was. Like
I have
I'm
I have
so
a
out of
teenager.
it.
I have a
I'm so out of it.
teenager at home, so I know what glazing was. I have a teenager here, so glazing, I know what that was. Also, aura farming is a thing that
What?
aura farming is
Like
almost, I
like
think
an
it's
energy vampire?
like similar to glazing, I think. But I'm still working on figuring out what that
Oh
is.
boy.
Still, no one knows what 6-7 is.
Oh
But
no. Oh my gosh. The kids while I was substitute teaching saw that the slide was number 67
oh boy,
and they could not get over it. And then I was
not
like, haha, 68. But anyway, that's what's going on with me. Jason, where can people find you?
yeah, you can find me a lot of places at the moment. I've gotten into it's a weird thing because opportunities for podcasting seem to just like come in bunches. Like I'll go months without much of anything, and then there'll just be like a 2-week span, or everyone will be asking me to do everything. So I'm in a lot of different spaces right now. You can always find me on the Perfect Match podcast. We are exclusively on Patreon right now, talking about season 10 of Married at First Sight, a messy reality show where people get married at the altar, sight unseen. So that's always a lot of fun. Season 10 is one of the best seasons of the show. So me and Asia Welch are doing our rewatch over on Patreon. You can also catch me on the Rob Has Podcast Network talking about Love is Blind. Love is Blind is back for season 10, landmark season where nothing has really changed on the show. But you would
They're
think
in Ohio, Jason. They're in Ohio.
Skibbity, Ohio. You would think they would do something to like change something up. Big landmark season 10, but no, not really. It's more of the same, but it's still fun, messy mess. So check me, Asia Welch, and Mary Krokowski out on the Rap House Podcast Network on the Love at First Sight feed as we talked about Love's Blind season 10 episodes 1 through 3 as a podcast. We will be back early next week to talk 4 through 6. So check that out. You can check me out on Recap Kickback, which is a show my friend Chappelle does. Me and him talked about Wonder Man, a series on Disney Plus. Really great series. I think even if it is a Marvel comics television series, but even if you are not into the superhero of it all, it's not very superhero-y. So I think a lot of you will enjoy the Wonder Man of it all. So check that out. Me and him, along with Anthony, with another podcast I'm forgetting the name of right now. I apologize for that. We talked about the Wonder Man 8 episodes in 2 different batches, 1 through 4, then 5 through 8. So check that out on Recap Kickback. You can check me out on the 90 Day Fiance podcast over Raha's podcast. Talked about the last few episodes of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Over there was also on the show Crime Scene. That's Crime SEEN. Talked about a true crime documentary, the investigation of Lucy Ledby. Check that out. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm missing. I don't think so. But yeah, that's me. That's Marissa. And until next time, stay good.